Welcome back, my name is Carrie, and today I'm going to share a common mistake you need to avoid when buying raw land for a new home. If you have the time and some patience, starting from scratch with raw land can be a great way to bring your ideas to life. It's a blank canvas for you to create your dream home, which can be a lot of fun. Earlier this year, we purchased a 0.39 acre lot specifically for a new manufactured home and are now well underway with the land prep. When we got the property, it needed a lot of work. It was overgrown and didn't have any services, which means we have to bring in power, water, and install a septic system. If you're truly starting from scratch, there's a lot to think about, and making a budget is critical to make sure you've got enough money to get you from a piece of dirt to a move-in ready home. Even with a perfect budget, it's easy to get burned. Just this week, I got a nice little surprise that's going to add a big chunk of change to our project. I guess that's why they say the perfect laid plans often go awry, or something like that. Today I'm going to tell you what I think needs to be added to every budget and why. Then I'll give you an update on our property and tell you where we got burned. So let's do it. A common mistake people make when they're budgeting for a raw land purchase with plans for a new home is they're too precise with their budget. I've been doing this long enough to know that things change, stuff happens, and things can go wrong that easily blow your budget out the window. Anytime I start a new project, I make a budget that's as precise as it can possibly be. I get quotes and figure out down to the penny what everything's gonna cost. We don't even have pennies in Canada anymore, but I'm still adding them to my budget. When I'm done, I add another line to my budget that just says buffer, and the size of the number I put in that column depends on the size of the project. I do this because I don't like surprises unless it's my birthday. I know that there's a really good chance something is going to come up that's going to end up costing more than I expected. Right now is a perfect example of that. The price of a new manufactured home has gone up like 10% in the last 30 days. So anyone that bought a property 31 days ago and set their budget based on the price of a new manufactured home at that time is officially over budget, and the work hasn't even really started. I don't want to scare people into thinking that everything that can possibly go wrong will go wrong, but if I had to choose between that and someone buying a piece of property and quickly finding out that they're over budget because something unexpected changed and they didn't plan for it, I would choose scaring people all day long. Make your budget as precise as you possibly can, then add a buffer, and don't be surprised if you end up spending a good portion of that buffer. It happens. How much of a buffer you're going to need is going to depend on how much work has to be done to that property. If the property is cleared, serviced, and ready to build on, you shouldn't need as much of a buffer because all that's left is the house and landscaping. If you're looking at something similar to ours or bigger that needs a lot of work, like bringing in power, clearing trees, preparing a home site, installing a septic system, and on and on and on, that's a lot of different stuff that can go wrong, so you're gonna need a bigger buffer. A few of the things I've seen cause people to go over budget on raw land are: number one, drilling a well. They talked to the neighboring properties and got quotes based on how deep their wells were, assuming that theirs would be similar, but when they started drilling, for whatever reason, they actually had to go quite a bit deeper before hitting water. Number two, unexpected building material increases. This is the big one right now. It seems like every week the price of everything just keeps going up. The factory I buy manufactured homes from has had to hire someone full-time who just checks the price of building materials on a daily basis. They've never had to do that before. That should give you an idea of just how crazy it is. Number three, the contractor you got a quote from gets busy, could be any step of the process, and you have to use someone else who has different pricing. It happens. Number four, for whatever reason, your home gets delayed and you have to rent something for an extra 3 months until it's finished. This could happen pretty easily. I could go on and on with these, but these are just a few of the reasons I've seen over the years that can easily put someone over budget in a hurry. All right, let's go take a look around our property. For those that have been following along, I'll give a quick update on what's new, then I'll tell you where our budget took an absolute beating this week. Last time I did an update, we didn't have the water line yet. We were waiting on that, and we were waiting on the power. So let me show you where the water line had to run from and where it's running to. The city water service actually runs down the far side of 10th Avenue, which is this street right here. And you can see where they've dug it up. So it runs all the way up and down the far side of the street. They've dug it up to run a water service over there. Had to make this whole ditch just for us so I can have a shower. Isn't that nice? But you can see why it's expensive, because this is not a small job. So it comes through this ditch and then pops up right over here just inside the property line of our property, and then we still have to trench it into where the house is going to be. So there it is. right there. We do have water on the property officially. The second last thing we were waiting on besides the septic was the power pole. And if we flip this around, you can see we have a power pole, but no meter. So now that we have the pole, we can run a trench to where the home is going to be, which is right over here. And then they'll put the tech cable in, bury it, and then when the home comes in, hook it up, and then Hydro will bring us a meter. Now, where did our budget get burned? I'm going to go to the top of the driveway and look back, and I think you'll be able to pick it off right away, so let's have a look. If you've been following along the entire process, you'll notice there's a lot of fill in here now. So, to get this property level, see, the house is going to go over here, and before it's sloped front to back. Can't even see where the original grade was, but it had quite a nice slope to it, and there was be no way you could put a manufactured home in here, so we had to bring in a lot more fill than we expected. As you can see, that's a lot of dirt. I don't have the bill for how much the extra fill is going to cost just yet, but I have been warned that we did go over budget, which is always nice because then you can prepare for it. So what do we have left? I'm definitely going to have to do another cost update video because since my last one, we've got the building permit, we're going to have the extra fill, we've got the electrical pole there, and the water service. From here, what we've got left is the septic system. So we do have the drawings back from that now, so it's just a matter of getting that installed. And then it'll be ready to bring the house in. Like I say, building permit's done, so we're ready to go. And it won't be long now until we will see a house sitting right in there. You're now officially up to date on what's going on out here. You know where we got burned and why it's so important to have a buffer. I'm going to head back to the office and we'll wrap this thing up. There's a lot that goes into taking a property from raw land to move-in ready home. A buffer or safety net needs to be a part of your original budget to make sure you've got enough money to get you from start to finish, especially in today's unpredictable market. Again, I don't want to scare people away from purchasing raw land for a new home. It can be a great way to get the home of your dreams. Just be aware that things can go wrong, so you're ready for it if they do. That's all I've got for today. If you like manufactured home videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I've got new ones coming out every single week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.